Okay, we've got 2 packages here, but not really enough room for both of them until I open this one. So let's do this. You know, this is a Right Stuff package, so it's, you know, nice to see that they're still shipping stuff. Not really because, I mean, it's really nice to receive stuff. If I didn't receive anything for this entire time, I think the only reason I wouldn't like that is I wouldn't know what to do with my YouTube channel. Mostly because, I mean, I've been doing updates every week for over a decade now. So, it'd be weird to not do that. It sets a structure to my life. And I do like structure, which is also why I hate a lot of the disclosure, even though I understand some of it. I'm trying to remember what the hell this even is. And obviously that's Aniplex Sword Art Online and something or the other. Interesting, interesting. I don't even know if it's a series. I guess I'll find out shortly enoughly. All I know is this one definitely had something I was interested in. Oh my god, it's hard to breathe. It's a tiring day. The hard to breathe, I don't know. Could be allergies, could be... I went out with a mask on and it's very stifling. Well, the important thing is we've got anime, and let's just start getting through it. First we have... This feels... Oh yeah, look at that. That's weird. The Hinomaru Sumo Part 2. And I vaguely recall something resembling a Part 1 being somewhere near here. But at this point, I don't even know where I put it. It's all lost. Oh, he's mostly naked. Is that the same person? Maybe. I mean, his hair looks redder there, but it's the same shape. I'm trying to think if maybe the head looks more narrow. Anyways, that's a bunch of distracted. Regions A and B, English dub, special features, commentary, video, short, textless opening and ending songs. Alright. Then here, it's a little weird because first we've got this. Then on the inside we've got... Okay, disc. Not very exciting. There we go. I don't quite have that perfectly in there. I don't even know what this is. Looks like cards. I opened it for some reason. Probably because this is easy and it looks like it'd be easy to put it back. Which is good, because, you know, I don't usually look at these postcards. I think it should be testament to my laziness that I'm only bothering doing this because it's easy. Even though there are other series with artwork that would interest me personally more. This one? I'm not sure what to think about it. Like, it feels like his head is small for his body, but maybe that's just me thinking, oh, that's how I would look if I tried to dress like a sumo wrestler. You know, I know my long hair kind of fills out the top of my head, sort of like how wearing pants kind of, sorry, I'm losing my train of thought. Basically, because I don't tend to sit around as much, or haven't, my legs are a little thicker than I think they should be. Anyways, this is when I was the Helpfu Fox Senko-san, where collect 3 exclusive art cards. And we're going to take this off to look at some cute fox girl. We are going to take it off. Come on. Come off. There we go. There. I'm going to say the title of the character in all her glory. I do see a little more there. I'm trying to remember if there was maybe a bit of a rivalry between characters. All I know is I really like the look of the cast. This one, I don't know, it gives me hope that it'll be an entertaining show about nothing, maybe. Okay, I was thinking it was blank down here, but with this being yellow, I see Region A, I see evidence of dub, special features, Episode 8, video compilation, promotional videos, web previews, text list, opening, closing. Anyways, one thing I haven't decided yet is if I'm going to watch this one dubbed or not. Because there's a dub on the back, according to the back. But I don't know. I don't know enough about this one since I no longer communicate in any anime communities to know for certain if I should be watching this one subbed. Are the characters so beloved that I should be doing that? Here's that aside. We've got 3 postcards. 2 cutes. That does not look cute. It looks quite sexy. I was just trying to think if there was a funnier word to use. And unfortunately, thinking is not what I am doing right now. Today's been a thinking kind of day. Nice and busy at work. Which has been here at home, but it's good. It's related to the stimulus package. I think my company did some of the distribution of funds over the weekend, and for making it available to other people who aren't immediately accessible, I think we're working on setting something up so the IRS can say, hey, you can go here and set up an account. Anyways, after War Gundam X... Is that a thing there? I can see a blue thing there, but I can't tell what it is. I don't know why, but my eyesight today feels particularly bad. And it probably has to do with having trouble waking up. Y'all are probably having trouble hearing me due to the crinkling of plastic. I'm trying to read this. It looks like it just says Japanese, Region A. 475 minutes sounds like, well, that's 25. You know, if you divide it by 25, then you're gonna get 4443, which is gonna be 15. I wonder if that could be an entire thing, because I'm not seeing anything on here that, oh yeah, actually it says right there 1 through 19. Clean opening 1 through 2. Oh yeah, now I can see that in a slightly better light. That's a 1. So this is collection 1. Well, let's I guess fix this plastic so that it's like that. So I see a 1 right there. I see a 2 right there and a 3 right there. So let's also fix this by, you know, getting a good look at this picture. And then putting it in right side up. Because I could keep it upside down, but you know what? The better evidence that it was like that is this video itself. This is it just Revue Starlight, or is this something else? Part of something else? Is that a 1 or is that a... I don't know. I thought this was maybe a Love Live thing, but I'm not sure. I mean, it looks very School Idol-ish, but Oh yeah, looking at the back, I see a region A. I see an English dub. Here's special features. Clean opening, closing, Japanese promos, episode previews, episode commentaries, shorts, and Sentai trailers. And loose discs. These are actually kind of neat pictures. They're very different art style from anything on the outside. Look kind of like watercolor. Okay, cool. I don't know what broke. Where did that come from? Did that come from this? Yeah, look at that. That came from this. Okay, and last but not least, we have Sword Art Online Alicization. Alicization? I don't even know what the fuck it means. Okay, well let's just, start moving these blue pieces to the side and getting into it. So first things first, gotta get this off so we can take a look at the full artwork. Because we needed to see Kirito's legs, right? And dress. Lots of dress. Needed to address the dress. Let's see. Don't see any regions. I don't think I normally do. English dub. Japanese with English subtitles. I don't know. My eyes are getting blurry. It's kind of hard to read it all. As you can see, I'm nice and clumsy. Oh look, it's another card. It's a thing. There does seem to always be Fate and Sword Art card stuff, aren't they? Those are kind of the two biggest something or the others franchises. Well, I saw some interesting graphic in there. And okay, so I think this was the one on the bottom. But this is the one with discs 1 through 3. Okay. So what am I even looking at? Because that's Asuna, and I think that's sister. And that's What's-Her-Face from Gun Gal. Is that also What's-Her-Face from the complete alternative one? I don't know what kind of story this is in relation to the others. A 2, a 3. And then peek at girl. Who I think was maybe the blacksmith girl, but I'll be honest right now. I'm not sure if I should be recognizing a lot of these characters or not. 4, 5, a 6, and probably a soundtrack. Yeah, it says compact disc right there. Okay, I thought these were smudges, but nope, they're sakura blossoms. Oh, jeez. What the hell am I even looking at? I think that's... I mean, that looks weird, but I think it's a naked man. Because I for a while there, I thought I was looking at a picture of a... naked lady with, like, weird period blood. I don't know. Sorry for that imagery. Here's this week's anime DVD collection update. Me and my friend, we finished Dragon Ball Super Part 10. And I guess I wasn't quite expecting Dragon Ball Super to be over. I kind of thought it was maybe still ongoing or something like that. But no, it turns out Dragon Ball Super ends after the Tournament of Power. So like I predicted, Tournament of Power ended near the end of this, and then the series just kind of suddenly came to a halt. Now it looks like the Dragon Ball Super Brawly movie comes sequentially after it. I mean, my anime list lists it as a sequel. Now maybe it's kind of a spiritual side story that's a sequel to after the events here, so things disestablished as canon are there, but I don't know. I guess me and my friend might watch it. But for this, so I'm just trying to check. That's a text message. Not that that changes whether or not I'm recording this. I'm just easily distracted right now. One of those mornings where you wake up in the middle of REM sleep, and so you don't completely wake up. So it's been hard to move forward through today. It doesn't help that I've been shortchanging myself sleep. But I've been digressing too much. Okay, so Tournament of Power overall had a lot of neat things to it, but also kind of felt very Dragon Ball-ish in terms of dragging on. A couple of twists in there that we kind of, I think, expected. A couple of neat things. But otherwise, you know, it was okay. I've heard people say they don't like Jiren. And yeah, I guess my opinion of him wavered until it's just like, okay, yeah, they're establishing him as this thing, but that doesn't really explain anything. Like, his backstory doesn't really explain anything other than his attitude. Because outside of his attitude, there are a lot of people in that sort of position. So it doesn't explain why Jiren was able to become so powerful, which is disappointing. But I kind of got the impression people wouldn't like that, and I didn't expect too much of it. I thought it went a little harder than I thought it would, but it was fine because it was already a lot of stuff. So overall, you know, it was nice. I would have liked it to keep going because there were things in the universe I wanted to still see more of, but I guess they'd have to come up with an actual next confrontation they'd want to do, which maybe they did with the Dragon Ball Super Brawly movie. I don't know. And the other thing I watched was a Code Geass Lelouch of the Rebellion. No, sorry, Lelouch of the Resurrection. Rebellion was the first season, or maybe it was just the series. I'm trying to remember, but I know at least began Lelouch of the Rebellion. That was a series. Anyways. I thought this was actually a pretty neat movie. Neat, nice. Now my perspective here is coming in watching it from somebody who last watched the series a long time ago. So I remembered a lot of the characters. I didn't remember some of the details. Some of the movie things is like, oh yeah, those characters did start doing that, didn't they? But I didn't remember some of the drama that had happened, and I think it was mostly okay because the movie doesn't lean heavily on that so much as kind of leaning on the strong impressions the series left you with. So it was really quite interesting because there were some things about the way this starts off that are very reminiscent of some of the best fan headcanons that I heard regarding interpretations, certain interpretations of the end of it. And I'm not sure if they were correct or if people working on this or maybe the original author are like, actually, that's a really good idea. And the nice thing about it was it wasn't specifically the one idea I had heard that I had actually thought, oh, that one actually sounds like it makes the most sense. Instead, it was actually a very clever tweak of it where it kind of had some of the facts right, but it's like, yeah, but you kind of had other facts that you probably didn't keep in mind, so here's the reality of the situation if you take that into account. Which means it's a little more clever, which means it's kind of hard to tell if this is what was planned from the beginning and this is like an implementation of another chapter of the manga that I wasn't aware of, or there wasn't a manga and this was just a pure implementation as a series, and maybe this as a follow-up was always intended. And it's hard to tell because it feels more natural than a lot of the other Code Geass stuff I've seen. But I haven't watched completely the one with the thing and the thing. Or maybe there's another thing as well. All I know is when it comes to this, and as you can hear, there's lots of communications happening constantly. For this one, I kind of thought that it felt left on the right foot. It made us see things we really wanted to see. Like a lot of fan theories about the end of the Code Geass series weren't really about, oh, we just want to see more of the series. They were more about how we wanted to interpret the ending in a certain way. And I think this justifies that in a lot of ways because, well, I guess I can't go into those details because that would be the kind of spoiler I don't want to talk about. All I can say is, as a follow-up to the series, I actually thought this was pretty good. I think this isn't like the Full Metal Alchemist movie. So the original Full Metal Alchemist series, and this wasn't the original story, but the first anime implementation of the series. That one ended in a way that I thought was acceptable, where it's like it resolved some important plot arcs. It kind of left you saying, I wonder where these people are going to adventure from here, and it left it in a kind of openly hanging way that I thought was good for playing with the imagination. Yeah, I'm just like, why does he post so many things at once? Anyways, and then the movie followed up, and it just kind of left things even more open hung, with a couple of things tied loose, but a couple of other things explicitly, oh yeah, well, yeah, don't really care. And that's why, even though Conquer of Shambhala had a lot of really neat things about it, it was also kind of a disappointing movie because it left the series off in a way where it's like, now I feel even more restless, like it's intentionally left us in a place where we need to know if more is going to happen. Not it, like, okay, they finished a major story arc. No, they kind of undid what they had at the ending, and you know, it's not bad, but oh my god. And the problem is, you know, I have it on 3 systems, so muting them all is tricky. Anyways, for the Resurrection movie, it felt like it was in tune with, these are some of the things people wanted to see, and it felt like where it left off as a movie, it actually enhanced that feeling of what I think fans wanted from their interpretations of the ending of the series, while at the same time providing a lot of the things in an interesting, different context that are very similar to a lot of the talking points or playing points of the series itself. So it was entertaining, not as good as the series itself, of course, but as far as a standalone movie, it actually was very clever. I don't even think I can go into too much more detail about it, other than it does present a Geass versus Geass situation. It does prevent, you know, a lot of mecha fighting stuff. I don't remember the mechas too well, so it did some stuff where it's like, oh yeah, they kind of had done something like that, didn't they? But I don't know. See, that's the problem with Code Geass, is there was a lot of different levels of drama going on there. It's not drama, suspense. Like, there was drama, suspense, like soap opera stuff, as well as leaving off series, characters outthinking characters. Oh, you have this powerful machine. Well, here's this more powerful one we've been working on in secret. You know, it pretty much, Code Geass is just a combination of all that stuff. And so this doesn't quite have as much of that flair going on for it, so much as it's a good revisit of a lot of things that I thought made Code Geass a series just kind of overall enjoyable and not moment to moment enjoyable. So I thought that was good. I also thought there was some good, touching, small emotional moments to it. I call them small, mostly because that's a description of how I reacted to them. But I'm like, yeah, that, again, the movie's just like, yeah, this is kind of what I wanted to see. So, I don't know if it's necessarily mind-blowing. It's probably not necessarily as good as the series per se, but as someone who enjoyed the series when I watched it, you know, not as it came out because I watched it on DVD, so I watched it in chunks, but as somebody who enjoyed the series, even if the series kind of seemed to build up and get close to going over deep end or something, but somehow maintaining that. Anyways, as a series like that, you know, the movie's not going to be that same thing, but it was nice. I just have to decide if I want to suggest to my friend to see it, because I don't know how well he remembers the series. Just thinking if that means I should rewatch it. So, other than that, it's been mostly Pokemon stuff. I've been hitting it especially intense in terms of, over the weekend I was shifting from one project to another, but I'm finally reaching the point where I'm considering seeing what I need to do in order to finish the Pokédex. And the biggest question there is, of course, Zamazenta. You see, I have Pokemon Sword, so Zacian is, you know, my version mascot, and that's what I got. But I do think you need Zamazenta to officially complete the Pokédex, which makes me wonder how to do it. Now, I could probably find someone to do some touch trades with, but there's a part of me that doesn't want to do that. And I do have both Pokemon Sword and Shield. The only question is, how do I transfer between them? If Pokemon Home allows me to do that, then maybe I just do it all on my Switch as it is, depending on when you gain the ability to transfer Pokemon to and from home. Then I think that's what I'm going to start researching next, because not only do I need Zamazenta, but technically I need Silvally, you know, the kind of Arceus-like or Arceus-light Pokemon, however you want to. Not quite as diverse a move pool, definitely not as spectacular stats all around. I mean, 120 is our spectacular. Even though there are now Pokemon with even more spectacular stats. But, you know, the issue is that I wanted to dive into the Battle Tower, and I wanted to do so on my own without relying on rented battle teams, which is a weird thing, but it, you know, I like to say I don't want to rely on online stuff too much, but given that I'm doing a lot of Dynamax raid battling in order to capture Pokemon not in my Pokédex, and to at least get Pokemon line so I can breed the children and then level them up and complete that Pokemon line. You know, I'm willing to do that, but even though I know Delibirds are like all over the fucking place and always harassing me, I'm like, I'm gonna still see if I can get one through Dynamax raid battle. So that is definitely dependent on online people and timing and stuff. But at the end of the day, I'm still one of the people participating in the thing, doing my more or less own thing, and then catching my own copy of the Pokemon at the end, possibly. So, along those lines, yeah, I'm definitely, I'm not completely doing stuff on my own offline, but I am being a little more strategic with trades. Like, if my brother, who has Pokemon Shield, I think, and I think has caught his Zamazenta, if he were to talk to me and say, let's do a touch trade, I'd probably do that. Because I did stuff like that to get the starters. I traded with said brother. You know, I got him a Ditto so that he could breed something with it. And then I got a Sobble, and then I have a friend up in Dallas, a good close family friend who was playing, and he started with Grookey, and you know, since I started with Scorbunny, you know, I kind of led him through some of the stuff to introduce him to Dynamax raid battles. You know, he had reached out to me about that, and I'm like, you should probably grab a Ditto. Dittos are really useful to have, especially the Dittos they give away here. And so he got a Ditto, and then you know, I was able to give him not just a Scorbunny, but a Ivy bred, jolly natured
And I actually Eevee trained for him, and it also had 2 egg moves that are really good egg moves on Scorbunny. So he got a really good competitively designed one, and he's not too intimately aware of the competitive building mechanics. Not to be confused with competitive stuff. I don't want to imply that I'm necessarily going to be any good at competitive Pokemon. I just understand the ideas behind the building of a lot of them. And then I just build a team of sweepers and I'll probably get my ass kicked. But, you know, basically a lot of trading there. He also got a Sobble for me, so he, and I guess I also Ivy bred modest Sobble, because I can't tell that Inteleon is definitely as good for competitive. He's got good sweeper stats, but his coverage actually seems to be kind of limited. Where he's got like 4 good attacks, but the overlap between them are just too close to necessarily be able to hit everything. Yeah, I see another typing going on over there. I should really just try and wrap things up, because there's all that stuff. Anyways, I was mentioning Silvally and the Battle Tower stuff and doing stuff on my own. And the issue is that one thing that I'm actually a kind of big fan of is using Type Null as he is. Because all of his stats are actually really good except for speed, which is bad. His move pool's not that great, but because he has good Silvally level stats, that basically means that once you put an Eviolite on him, he actually sponges damage pretty well. Not perfectly, but enough for you to use him to maneuver between, trying to maneuver between Pokemon. And that worked pretty well for most of my Battle Tower team until I realized that everything I have is physical. And so once I ended up running into one, I forgot the name of that thing, and it's Ferrothorn. And, you know, that's a good lesson because, you know, Ferrothorn is, of course, a highly notable OU Pokemon. I think it has been since its debut. Just a real annoying piece of crap that everybody's like, oh my god, I have to deal with one of these. So, you know, Type Null isn't being used in the Battle Tower team anymore in order to get the variety I need in order to succeed well there. But at the same time, I really like having him, which is unfortunate because he also uses up my Eviolite. And because I got him to level 100 really quick, it meant that I intentionally canceled the Silvally evolution, which means I have to get another one in order to get that. Or I have to transfer one from the older, which means getting another one. But, you know, it seems like I'm getting close to the point where I should just figure out Pokemon's Shield. And I don't want to play through it slowly like I did with Pokemon Sword, so I'm definitely going to want to figure out, okay, here's how I can get to trading really quick, and then get some Pokemon eggs to it, have the game hatch them, and then get the Pokemon back into Sword where I'll train them up or something like that. Maybe come up with a really good strategy for capturing a good Zamazenta. Because I could get one and then just, you know, use a Nature Mint to fix it, but that's still 25 battles in the Battle Tower, and while that can be much faster now than it used to be, it's still, you know, be better if I didn't have to do that many. Things to think about. Some of the goal here is if I get a Shiny Charm, then I can intentionally start increasing my chance of running into shiny Pokemon. But there's a lot of things to think about there. I don't know. I kind of feel like the shiny Pokemon in this generation are less flashy, are a little more subdued in their colorings. Which is kind of nice, because it actually feels like for some of these Pokemon it makes a difference. And I caught a shiny Gardevoir recently, which was perfect because it also had Trace. I mean, telepathy is kind of good, but for Dynamax raid battles, you shouldn't really be depending on telepathy, so all it would do is save me from that occasional idiot who's like, Oh yeah, I should use a ground type attack against this Pokemon. I'll use Earthquake. Oh, that hurts all my allies. And if I sound bitter, it's because, I don't know, I think I have unreasonable expectations, because you got a really wide variety of people here, but to me, it's like, some of these attacks, not only do the attacks tell you who they're going to hit, but they also, that's what they're known for. Earthquake is known for hitting absolutely everybody, period. Surf is known for hitting absolutely everyone, period. Sludge Wave I could understand, because there's so many different sludge blanks that it's hard to remember which ones do what, but Sludge Wave does hit everybody for poison, and it'd be better if you don't do that to your allies. But Earthquake is the one that annoys me the most, because, like, that's Earthquake's bread and butter. Oh well. I try to remember that I'm probably being a little intense there, but at the same time, getting irritable. I'm just trying to complete the Pokédex, so yeah. If I try and do anything weird with Pokemon Shield, where I like take the Pokemon and transfer them to Sword and level them up and then transfer them back, it could be interesting. I'm assuming that strategy still works in Gen 8, because there's things they can't do in order to prevent that, because they want people who trade away their Pokemon but then trade for it back. They don't want it to suddenly think, oh, I'm a traded Pokemon. So usually the mechanics of traded Pokemon not obeying your orders has to do with a combination of the Pokemon's level, as well as whether or not the trainer IDs match. So if you get your beloved Scorbunny back, I guess, even if it's evolved a couple of times, it's like, yeah, I recognize you, you're my original trainer, I'll always do what you say, because you're my buddy, my pal, my babysitter, my mama, something like that. Anyways, yeah, I've been babbling. How long have I been babbling? I've been babbling. I'm going to go ahead and end this video here. Y'all, have a nice week.